Hello, Replay viewer. Thank you for connecting. I am Ami, broadcasting from Far East Japan. I have a week to start after the holiday Monday here in Far East. And then also that this broadcast, the weekly reminder, Monday reminder, moved to here due to the funeral of the Queen. So it was such an ceremony event, and many thought came to at least me. So hope that you also connected as a collective energy to grieve and celebrate at the same time, as an ending is always the new beginning. And so that's what I was happening in my world, and hope you're having a wonderful. It's 5 p.m. here in Far East. So as usual, here is to reminding personal power to choose and to practicing the way of think better, feel better, to being better for conscious creation. Knowing that we are enough, and learning about the healthy way of thinking, and checking own default way of thinking to the particular event or experience in everyday life, and learning about the healthy way, so then we can use our personal power to adjust for healthier ideal way if it's needing some tuning. And if aligning to a pretty healthy way, and then strengthening it to reminding to healthy alignment, that will help us dedicate to a conscious creation and healing for everyday activity. So most of our operation system is run by subconscious and conscious, and the consciousness is only a 5%. And autopilot part of a human being is 95%, is deciding before we consciously choose in most of the case. So when without consciously thinking, high male, and choosing based on a belief system and past experience or repeating pattern, and these are helping us to create many things, easy operation. However, if we want to change something, and then that is challenging. So the gradually adjusting into whole system, more aligning to the fine, defined, healthy tuning. That's what the idea. Building the non-physical muscle, mind muscle, by paying attention to our non-physical part of our thinking, and consciously noticing it, knowing ourselves better, to choose for healthy way building our muscle. So that's what our Monday, and then happened to be a Tuesday. Yes, I'm having a pretty good day today. Actually, the yesterday was, of course, we are participating in the ceremony of the funeral of the Queen, and locally, the location I am in, Far East, was expected the super typhoon. So the heavy rain and alert is encouraging us stay home. So it's kind of perfect for stay home and being part of that live casting from the but the damage from the typhoon was minimum, so it was the good news. So that's what was happening as a holiday, obviously. With or without the funeral, we were having a holiday on Monday, so the holiday weekend. Yes. And then another one is coming. This is like such a short week for the people in Japan, like a Monday is the national holiday, and then the Friday also. It's like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, only a 3-day weekdays. Such a short, short week, super short week. And the weekend expected by hurricane, that super typhoon. So it's kind of ironic, wacky weather to people want to go out and enjoy sunshine, and then the weather is challenging us to stay home, and still the pandemic mix here. Thursday. Oh, it's the coming Thursday. I mean the last Thursday for the Queen. Yeah, it's so it's a Monday is the Elders Day, Silver Citizens Day, and that's what the Monday holiday. And then coming Friday is the equinox, autumn equinox. Wow, got to do the circle of the autumn. I'm gonna do that. So instead of doing tomorrow, maybe the energy keyword, I may want to do that equinox circle. I just want to go with the flow, but yeah, it's quite an unique flow of the week, I must say. So it's all good. It's a change is taking place, and collectively ending a new beginning, new awareness, and it's just a mixed feeling. And then one of the things that I realized that, yeah, and then the Mercury's been retrograding still, and then we are getting into the equinox, autumn. It's all happening. And one of the things that I noticed is that England national anthem, when I was a very small girl, like 3 or 4 perhaps, my grandpa was caregiver. My parents are too busy, and grandpa was taking care of me as a chauffeur, back and forth for his home, and then my parents' home. His daughter is my mother. And about an hour and a half drive to back and forth both houses. And they're in this driving time, avoiding to getting a car sick. I was encouraged to sing, and I love singing. So he taught me many songs, like the old songs from his era. And I'm the first granddaughter, so he was like so all over me, And then extension of his own child, which is my mother and auntie and uncle. I was taught the exact same songs that he taught. My grandpa taught own kids as an extra own like a child, because that's the privilege of the first grandchild. Anyhow, so the most every weekend that I come back to the parents' house, and 1 hour drive for one way, and then I was taught so many songs from him. Like, of course I couldn't read. It's like a 3 before kindergarten, so it's like a 2 or 3. So he was singing, and we were together singing, and then I memorized still these songs. And one of that song was that somehow that's the British England, the national anthem. And then I memorized all the lyrics in his Japanese pronunciation, absolute accent of Japanese. And then I just sound copied it when I was a 2 or 3. And that was perfect pitch. I get the perfect pitch, and singing with the absolute not knowing what that means, the lyric means. I'm not sure that he also remembering exact lyrics, but it just copied with that sounds like English kind of song. And then I didn't even know that that was the national anthem. So, and then later, years of later, that I realized that, well, I know this song. Probably I was watching Olympic game or something, and then I know this song, and then I realized that that's the national anthem. And then when and then there's a, I know, and then I started to develop the second languages in English, right? And then very later, like when I became an adult, and then English became a second language, and then but somehow that these national anthem that Grandpa taught me didn't click into my English circuit, So it's like I copied it as in a Japanese, as in a song, and then I had no idea about the lyrics, and then just sang as exact my grandpa was singing as in a Japanese accent. But I remember that last portion of it. It was the God Save the King. That was he taught me. So when he was learning about that, and that was the king era. That's how generation goes. And then I'm having the goosebumps. And then I didn't have any idea, but I sang as a God Save the King entire my life. And then later that my English developed, and it was like, oh, okay, the Queen nowadays. And then realized that the time my grandpa was singing, that was a king. Isn't it something? And then yesterday was like, people are like, need to change the queen to the king. It was like, oh, this is like very originally I remember in these anthems. But anyhow, so it's kind of a unique way me experiencing the Queen's death and transitions and relation to the my grandpa was in Japanese, the absolute native Tokyo Japanese person, that before the war he was doing some business with England. So that's one of the reasons that yeah, I know, isn't it the full circle? And I'm so grateful to be witnessing that lyric came back to the queen, even that the queen was served for 7 decades. It's amazing. But that's personal wow moment that I noticed yesterday. So I just wanted to share with that. What an impact, and passing it on to generation. These things not happening to economical leadership. That's economy, and that's growth too. But it's more of an yeah. It was very means like it's really changing kind of embodiment. That's what I felt too. And how long she's been serving, and how long I've been connected to the history of that. Even I never been to England actually, but somehow my ancestor was doing business, and it's like that's sort of like historical, cultural, mutual pools, and not economical, commercial based relatedness is a quite different way connecting. And also, and observing, being part of the yesterday's ceremony was like, wow, it's being in the history, like breathtaking in the many levels. So this week we are experiencing the change, ending, and the new beginning, and the processing that loss, and preparing for the future is all happening here now. Mercury is in retrograding, equinox is coming. What a week, right? And the card reminder for this week for all of us is this one. Healing sadness. Isn't this perfect? Healing sadness. Third energy center, solar plexus, sense of self, will, desire. Indeed, indeed. Yeah. In so many levels, in so many ways, and since the pandemic gave me the new view to look at collective energy in geographical all over Mother Earth, how we are connected through the pandemic, right? From here to here, and then how we're gonna move, and then with the technology, with the movement, the cruise ship, and then airplanes, and all these movement that human being makes, and then the viruses travels, and then it's like, wow, how we are connected. And then amazingly that the invasion in the European region gave me a clue of like, wow, how we are connected. Even the Far East Island is Russia is the neighbor, and then reminded me of how we are close to. Yeah, I bet. So, and a new way to look at how we are connected, where we are in many levels, and we are one after all. It's quite an amazing year. And then to me, the pandemic for the last 2 years is preparing us as oneness in a negative way, but it's like boom, give us an opportunity to take a look at ourselves from a different perspective, and then boom, invasion, and boom, the 70 years of Queens is like ending her service. Was like, what, and then I learned about a lot to the regional histories. And since I came from island of Japan, and most of my life is in the United States, so I realized how my view was narrowed down. and then at the same time, weird enough, that my grandpa told me as a national anthem with that God Save the King as back into the full circle. But anyhow, so the healing sadness is the reminder for this week's for all of us. And sadness is one of the 5 human basic emotions: love, joy, fear, anger, and sadness. So sadness is grief also. Expectation didn't meet, or how come it's not happening, or how come it's happening this way, or just simply experiencing the loss, which is reach to the end of the cycle or circle, but there's no beginning and ending in circle. So that's what the universe. So healing sadness, the third energy center. I have had many changes. 14. Oh, it's interesting that Mel shared that 2014, that was also a hard year for me. It's like a major change started to take place in my personal life. Like an absolute gateway open to the new phase or transition. Um, I changed location geographically, and also I left the relationship, that meaningful relationship. Yeah, it's a many changes, and I've been so denied and had no idea. Um, just upset and denial, but the life kicked in my butt, and then physically got to, you know, do something. But my mind was so overwhelmed or just blocking to change, and just as much as I could be here, as much as I can be aware of, So that was the beginning of my whole crisis. I mean, I named it as an identity crisis. We are connected. Yeah, probably the energy travels in patterns, and then as long as you are aware of that. Don't know. I named it that year was identity crisis because I became solo again. I became chosen to live in a different way, and needed to reconnect into my own root. Now I came back to Japan. That's part of the reason. But all these things that needing to update the identity, need to uh, lost the old identity and find a new one. And it's hard to find a new self that really fit, and then so denial to explore, and the protection took place. And yeah, that was my beginning of the transition, which started actually in the August 2014. Day first, day one. Yeah, day one was an amazing. It's like pattern of energy cycle, reach the full, and then into the next. Yeah, that transition is amazing. And from there, I'm living in a complete different. I mean, like a rolling on the river, kind of stone, kind of flow for a while, and didn't know what I was doing, but that's part of it. And has been what, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, so like 7 years or 8 years. And one of these reminder from social media, the Facebook post, like 5 years ago this day you posted so and so, kind of information popping up, and it reminded me, wow, it's already 11 years. So yeah. So okay, this is a reminder for this week, all of us. Healing sadness, third energy center. Things are happening as they should around me. Things are happening as they should around me. That's the healthy thought. Unhealthy thought is, I blame myself for things that go wrong around me. I must be in control. I blame myself for things that go wrong around me. I must be in control. That's interesting. So accept as it is and love yourself no matter what. The self-affirmation. hold the self-esteem high enough. Love yourself first, no matter what's happening. Isn't it interesting that to talked about that 2014, if you're experiencing some sort of like a gear shifted and being into a transition, and perhaps we can use this cycle as the end of that cycle. There's a many different cycles, and it's up to us to choose which one to fit in. I feel like I got long enough cycle to deny it. So let's check what Dr. Mona Lisa needs to add on this healing sadness. Healing sadness. Felt control's been taken away. I see. Seven. Page 7. Control has been taken away. So must be in control of something, and being encouraged to release the grip and then accept as is and to raise the level, perhaps. So here is Dr. Mona Lisa is adding, let me put that lights on here. Okay, so if painful things happen in the lives of our loved ones, this adversity isn't necessary our responsibility. We can love and support our friends and family. If we attempt to bear the weight of their suffering, we are more likely to become depressed, anxious, and overwhelmed, and suffer also from the physical stigmata of overcaring, obesity, chronic fatigue, and chronic immune system dysfunction, including arthritis, rashes, and other disease. Usually, a healthy mood is based on the serenity prayer, knowing when to intervene in a loved one's life and when to keep a healthy distance. When to keep a healthy distance, that's a good word. Yeah. Ultimately, surviving through the ups and downs involves being in touch with a higher power, God, the universe, whatever we believe in. So that's a good reminder that exactly a healthy mood is based on a serenity prayer, knowing when to intervene in a loved one's life and when to keep a healthy distance. So means like a healthy boundary, right? So the oxygen mask first in order to serve others better. And that's a great reminder. It's always an important aspect, but easily want to put loved one as a higher priority, especially unconditional love. And this comes back to the old saying that do it for them instead of teaching how they can do that themselves, like teaching giving a fish or teaching how to catch the fish. But it's sometimes it's easier to do it and overwhelm it and overly attach, and then taking care of our own needs as a secondary important person, and then it's so drained. And at the end of the day, it's like so drained, or self-esteem or self-love is very low in our system, which is unhealthy. So this is the healthy sadness, healing sadness, the third energy center. Things are happening as they should around me. Things are happening as they should around me. So this perhaps that how come I didn't do that? How come I did that for that? That is sort of like unhappiness to the consequences of a chosen act, or didn't choose act, or and then feeling sad. I blame myself for things that go wrong around me. I must be in control. So maybe that we think that we are so perfect and perfectly be able to control. Making mistake is it's such a complaining to our own careless mistakes or so. But make mistake is a human, and if it's AI, then no mistakes. So that's a computer's AI's job, and the human being makes mistake, and that's the gift of human being. And forgiveness is the good business. So accept all mistakes to forgiving that what happened, accept as it is, and then to learn from there. That requires a maturity and lots of self-love. But sometimes I know that people who just even don't care about making mistakes, like repeating the same mistake on and on and on. I am so not being able to take these people. Like, I give the 3 times. Like, when you do it just the first time, that's a good lesson to become aware. And then the second time, to make it better, which is the Kaizen. And then it didn't work well, that's fine. But, change the way to approaching it. That's a step up, right? But repeating the same way, and then it's like no, and then the third, and then you are out. Don't come near me. That's my policy when I was in the firm, like training some people, like a teamwork, and then it's like yeah, I'm sorry, I'm never gonna do that again, and then do it again and again and again. I was like so mad as a trainer. But and then I was told that, hey, you get the so high standard for training people. Like, do you need to be that perfect? I mean, what's the questions? That no need to be perfect, but I want to see some improvement, a willingness to become better. Hi, Jessica. So, but that's one of my lessons. Like, that's my standard and not for other people. And what I can do is to choose not to be with dialoguing or creating that type of people, because they just adding to my frustration and stress. So what I can do is to minimize the connection and co-creation, whatever the interactions, and to things that are happening as they should around me. So they are reminding me that, they have a different standard, differences, and then non-resonating. And what's all my choice, my resonance, and I remind myself to prefer that way instead of like having idea to change these people. That's impossible, by the way. So again, the healthy thought is things are happening as they should around me. Unhealthy thought is I blame myself for things that get wrong around me. I must be in control. But coming back to our system is like 95% is unconscious, subconscious. So only the 5%, if we want to control in it, maybe the subconsciously operating that without much aware of it. So getting to know our own pattern is always like good things. Okay, so that's a collective reminder for this week. Healing sadness. Focusing on what we can do, being part of the surrounding, being part of the collective with the own power. So would you like to pick the reminder, Mel? Let me have the number between 1 to 10 for me. Eight. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here is the reminder for Mel this week. Okay. Healthy self-esteem. Fourth energy center. Heart chakra, color green. Self-esteem is the third energy center. I know, it's very connected, isn't it? So the self-esteem is basically the third energy center. Healthy ego, self-esteem, decide, be responsible, powerhouse. So the healthy thought first. Inside of me is a passionate, lovable person who others want to support and be around. That's the healthy thought. An unhealthy thought is, I am unlovable. I will not get help, even if I need it. So that's unhealthy thought. Healthy self-esteem. Okay. So let me go quickly scan your energy. Okay, I got the sense that something that you are wanting to really give birth, like a grounding, to materialize, like giving a form to share with, and then that actually really needing our third energy center will, and then also a little bit of control, because to have that structure is needing to make it created building sureness is a little bit of a power to force, not so much floating, but it's like a concreting something. That's what I'm getting, that something about that with communication to with the world around us is the two different things. In the sense of building self, maybe together with someone or the world around you, and to talk about it and then creating is such a stressful task. As like energetically, I feel that in between the throat chakra, fifth energy center, and the heart and self and creation, all this in between chakra is really involving, so that what you are feeding and what own self decision, idea, desire, wishes, and to create in a way that to more align into your heart of the matter. And it's such a hard task and stressful period to create that type of experience and then share with the world around you. So then it comes to the inside of me is a passionate, lovable person who others want to support and be around. The reminder here is that it's almost impossible to understand other people, other persons' ideas or what they are thinking, wanting, and not necessarily fully being received by others. Perhaps there's a good perfectionism in there. This is the way that I like to have them embody the world around us, through what I am creating or what I am feeding. It's about the new way connecting the inner world and the world around us. And then the help is to communicate the needs, to express and adjusting the temperature difference within and the world around us. And then you may want to explore new way. Perhaps that could be a solution. Perhaps there is other way to share, or perhaps other way to put yourself out, or the way to connect the world around. Excuse me, it's very general, but the reminder could be that instead of internal creation, sometimes is put us into the corner of I'm the only one knowing this feeling. We all are alone, and I go often though when I was in the creative project and no one could understand. It's like, is anyone could understand what I'm thinking? No one. It's impossible. But I go there. Subconscious places the mind and miss. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that self-esteem is no matter what other people are saying, maybe what we can do is to change the way to express, connect, or change the place that we want to connect. And that's the only two things that we can use our personal power to protect our self-esteem. So if you are presenting something or being what you are, who you are, is giving you the feeling that not so connecting, and perhaps that sign to change the environment, change the people, change the community, change the person to do. Or another one is that change the way that you present yourself. So it's worth experimenting it, but I think it's important is the self-love, and the same thing, different context, different outcome. Sometimes it's very difficult to understand, but like a same ingredients, different cooking method, different taste, right? So, or maybe the same ingredients, same cooking, different responses. Yeah, maybe that the conditioning of the environment is different from what you are with. And that difference is maybe not welcome. You're going to be the victim of the past or the pioneer for the future. And then, it's totally up to us which way we want to choose to educating or building their conditioning by changing a little by little. It takes time, actually. In case of marketing, it's like the healthy thought and not healthy thought on the card. Yeah. It's been said that it takes 10 years to introduce in absolute new things, and people have no idea, and to getting familiar with it and then liking it, because we need to develop that kind of new conditioning. It takes time. That's a marketing theory, and if they have the foundation similar to that, and then could be quicker or could be rejected more drastically. But basically, if there's non-filtered and totally new to be introduced, then it takes effort. And the question comes back to, is this worth putting the effort to building that little by little, changing, influencing the conditioning environment to fit in, or find a different way to do it, or not worth doing it. That's the choices that we have. So I'm sending healing to boosting the self-love, self-affirmation, and we must be the protector and provider for our own heart of the matter and own desire. Unless otherwise, no one's going to support that. We must support that for our spirit's sakes, our inner child's sakes, our soul's urge, whatever you name it. But then from there, we can get the support. So I'm sending healing and self-love and protection, and we are always with you. Thank you for sharing and allowing. You're welcome. Thank you for allowing. It's so true that but the good thing is that when you noticing these things, that means that you are creating something. You are connecting with someone. You are working on your intentional creation. Unless otherwise, you're not gonna feel any of these, because you're conscious, you feel that. If you are unconscious and then you don't care or you don't feel these things. So it's all about growth, and it's lovely to know that there is a conscious creator is growing also in everyday activity, encouraging me also to go after our heart of the matter, defining alignment. So it's getting dark here. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. So I guess the Jessica was here, but she's gone already, long time ago. So before closing here, let us connect the energy, localizing our energy, our mind, what we are thinking, what we are feeling, how's our bodies doing. If I take a moment and just scan from the thought, feeling, and inner voices, back of your mind, what is getting your attention, the past or the present or the physical body? What are you thinking about yesterday or about tomorrow or tonight or this weekend or upcoming month? Oh, hey, Jessica, would you like to pick the card? Oh, reminder card? If so, let me have your number before we are closing. I'd like to pull the card for you. Between number 1 to 10 for me. Hi, would you like to pick the reminder card? 8. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. The reminder for you, Jessica. For this week, it's a lots of things going on this week. Is healthy joy. Healthy joy. The second energy center, color orange, one-on-one relationship, intimate relationship, business partnership, any kind of partnership, co-create, give birth to something, emotions, pleasure. That's what the energy center with joy, healthy joy. And joy is one of the 5 basic human emotions. Love, joy, fear, anger, and sadness. The joy is like, follow your joy. That's the true north. So here's a healthy thought first, and then unhealthy thought, and then let me scan your energy, and then come up with some reminder might be helpful for this week. Reminder. Okay, so the healthy thought is, if my loved ones are in pain, I do not try to smother them with love, trying to make them happy. I can support them and allow them space to experience their feeling. Interesting. An unhealthy thought is, if my friends or loved ones are unhappy, I do my best to make them more cheerful. So this unhealthy thought sounds like caring, good thought, but actually not. So this card is basically telling that the boundary, healthy boundary, is that because loving, so give others a space to do something by themselves. So let me go scan your energy. Okay. I have a sense that I like the way that you hold yourself, like knowing what you want to do, like you're being responsible for. And it's very practical, and I have a great amount of power coming out from you. And I have a sense that for co-creation, like with a friend or a partner, especially for one-on-one relationship, perhaps that your power is powerful enough to overwhelm other person. So maybe that you are just being who you are, and then the natural powerful energy is making you hard to make a balance out of it. So when in talking about partnership, friendship, 101, and then perhaps the other person is kind of easily becoming needy or less dedicated, and to make sense as an co-creation. So here's what I'd like to suggest to you, that using your power to support as an encourage others, partner figure, others to use their own power to matching up as you can do instead of you doing for them, you know. So it's because your power, they easily can get depend on you, and then your responsibility, and then you have a gift to make other people feel safe and secure. That's a gift, but sometimes it's hard to draw a boundary to giving opportunity for them to do by themselves. That's their opportunity to grow, because no one can decide for other people and do that for them. So I'm sending the healing to use your power in the a new way to create a space for partner or friends to have them explore their own power as you do naturally. Thank you for allowing. So then that will give you more joy. The new way to explore the joy with co-creating with the partner figure setting. So that could be a good reminder for this week that especially we experience in equinox, which is the equal balance of the time and the balance of being yin, male, female energy, bright and dark. You're welcome. So it's a use this balance in energy, especially for a one-on-one relationship, which is the unstable energy, like C and so. So balance is that, and then equal, you know, embodying the equality, and then use your powerful energy to support this equal to raise the level in your co-creation. Might be a good reminder for this week. Yeah, well, thank you for allowing. And before closing here, let us take a moment together and to thank you to just check in your thought, what came to your mind, awareness from yesterday, from today, and thinking of right now for the future. Just notice it. No need to reactive to it. Just observing, just like the crowd passing over you. Under one sky, we are connected. So just a thought as a crowd is passing, and then noticing it. Is that bringing raining or storm, or just clearing up, or just noticing what's in your head, in your mind, in your feeling, in your mood. And deep breath from the nose, inhaling, and then exhaling from the mouth slowly to taking all the fresh energy into your body and to releasing and aligning to here now together. So let's do that. Let us take a long deep breath, counting 3, 1 now, 2, 3. So when we exhaling, use a vocal, saying out as much as you can. Go slowly and out long as much as you can, and let all out, releasing, no longer serving. And just noticing the air coming into your lungs and then pushing out from your lungs as to releasing everything no longer serving. Ready? Let's go. My lung capacity is pretty good today. Okay, so then the last one. Inhaling all this energy. Hi, thanks for coming. In from the nose. And to exhaling and connect to the one energy that we are co-creating. Field of oneness that we are all connected under one sky. And to support one another to this new beginning. Ending is always the new beginning this week with the eco. So then a lot of coming up to our awareness and then let go one by one together. Ready? Let us take a long deep breath. Go in from the nose. Thank you for joining, connecting. I'm excited to do the new energy circle visual creation on this autumn equinox this week. So please join me on Instagram. I'm gonna post on Instagram to reset for upcoming season, autumn, September, October, November, around Thanksgiving. What you like to create, let go, invite in, just thought out, and then finding out one word that representing your theme for this autumn. The springtime for male in Australia, I suppose. New season, new quarter. So that's this week. And perhaps I will see you tomorrow for Key Energy Wisdom as Wellness Wisdom Wednesday tomorrow, hopefully. And you have a wonderful evening, night, day, week. I see you when I see you. Thank you so much for leaving the heart and the tweet, thumb up for YouTube and Twitch. I truly appreciate that feeling connected. Happy New Week. Thank you for joining. Bye. Getting dark.